Digging Japanese Pop. I'm Cody, and here with me is
Yoshi here. Hello, everyone.
Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much. In this podcast, two Japanese hosts explore the world of Japanese pop culture. And today, we are going to answer some questions.
Yes, so this episode is going to be quite different from our usual ones. So today we want to answer some of the questions people outside of Japan often have about Japan, about Japanese culture, and we would like to answer them in our own way. So this is our opinions. It's not really like what Japanese people as a whole think, but it is just in our way we like to answer those questions. And when we were actually looking for those questions online, we found quite a lot. So many questions.
So many.
Yes.
So many and so detailed questions.
Yes. So it was pretty difficult to pick which one to answer, but we did pick. So would you want to start?
Yeah. One of my favorite questions is this. Is there a Japanese equivalent of regional rivalry? Like Kansai versus Tokyo people?
Okay. Yeah, I mean Kansai and Tokyo, they are quite different.
Okay. Wait, by the way, where are you from again?
I'm from Tokyo. Well, I was born in Yokohama, and then I moved to the States, and I came back to Tokyo.
Whoa, okay. And I was born in Kyoto and raised in Osaka and moved to Tokyo.
Okay, so you know both Tokyo and then Osaka, like Kansai region.
I think so. And first of all, on this question,
Yes.
I'd like to mention that please say Kansai versus Kanto instead of saying Kansai versus Tokyo, because it makes things sound like a Kansai area. You know, it has so many prefectures.
Right.
They have to stick together to fight against Tokyo, right? And it hurts. It hurts so much because it is true.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that you guys were feeling that way. Because I felt like we were like fighting against you guys, but we do see differences, you know?
Yeah.
But,
There's no like, I don't feel rivalry. It's just we feel difference.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, of course I like, make fun of people in Tokyo sometimes, but just privately.
It's just kind of versatile.
We don't really go online and blame someone or anything, but we make fun of each other
I get
all the
that.
time.
And I know that in Kansai, because you talked about this before in the previous episodes that we had, that Kansai people are expected to be kind of funny all the time.
Oh, yeah, that's some pressure we are facing all the
Yeah,
time.
I think it's a great pressure, right? Like, what if people just don't want to talk that much? Like, some people probably prefer to be silent than, trying to be funny in front of everyone, right?
Yeah, it is a thing. Especially in Osaka, it is a thing. Being funny is a status in some way. And you basically want to be funny rather than good looking.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, the way of talking or like what episode you have, what funny stories you have, that matters the most. Especially in, school life.
Well, I guess like being funny is one of the characteristics that you can have. I mean, right? Even in Tokyo, but we don't really value that much.
Yeah.
We don't really judge or like think of someone less or more in terms of like how funny they are.
Yeah.
But I heard that it actually matters a lot in Kansai area.
Yeah, I actually felt that particular difference when I moved to Kanto area. I was born in Kyoto and grown up in Osaka, and I moved to Saitama, which is close to Tokyo. When I go to the university, right, and that's like the first encounter of Kanto culture to me. And the first thing I noticed was when I try to make things light, when I make joke. In Kansai area, especially in Osaka, someone definitely have something to add on that joke and keep the joke going, to keep the conversation going. But Saitama and I think it's in Kanto area in general, people would say, haha, funny, and end of conversation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm
That was
sorry
that
to
felt
you,
yeah,
and
it is
that's what we do, yes.
it is totally fine. It's just I know it is normal conversation for Kanto people, but I felt lonely
Okay.
because they like shut up, shut down the like conversation.
Conversation, yeah.
Yeah, and I felt so lonely when that happened. Now I understand people would say that, so I just, I don't really care about or let me feel lonely about it. But yeah, that's the huge difference.
Okay. Well, and also, like, are they, like, there are characters in anime and manga who are from, like, Osaka or, like, Kyoto, right? Do
Oh
you
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah.
those characters actually reflect what's actually how it is in Osaka or Kyoto area or Kansai area? I know they could be, like, some sort of stereotypical kind of characters, right? But,
Yeah, 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 yeah. So they're often really portrayed as stereotypical characters, I guess. But it is somewhat true. Like most people,
I
or
see.
like many people in Kansai area try to be funny, or like many Kansai people are really strict about money.
That is kind of one of the famous difference.
Yeah, like my mom was really strict about money. She doesn't she doesn't basically she doesn't want to lose 1 yen, even 1 yen. So she
Ah,
just calculate everything, and when we have like lunch together with other families or anything, she calculates everything
wow.
basically.
Well, it's good to tighten up your wallet, so I guess it's a good
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that raised me well. So
Yeah,
that
that's good.
money practically raised me. So I don't blame her at all. And she's a really great mom. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I think that's a thing, and that's
Okay.
a just stereotypical Kansai
All right.
thing, I guess.
So, to this question, the answer
Hmm.
would be it's very different. We have to say in many,
Yeah,
many ways.
we
Yes.
rivalry. To some people, it is rivalry, but to us, it is just difference.
All
Yeah.
right. So, next up is my question, the one that I actually picked.
Hmm.
So, for Valentine's Day,
Mm.
when Japanese people say homemade chocolate, are
Hmm.
they really just the ones like melting store-bought chocolate and then like put into the mold and freeze it? Is that the one that is that the chocolate they call homemade chocolate? That was a question.
Okay.
And
I think
also
answer
they were
is
asking about
uh-huh.
what does it mean to have the giri choco? Yeah.
Oh,
So these
okay.
are the
So
questions.
so I guess the answer to the first question is yes.
Kind
It
of, yes.
is
It really depends on
homemade.
people, of course. Some
Yeah,
people
yeah,
do it
yeah.
from scratch, maybe.
Maybe,
From
maybe.
cacao powder and stuff. But
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of people, or like younger generation, like
Hmm.
students, kind of like teenagers, when they try to make chocolate, they pretty much melt the store-bought chocolate and then put it into the mold or put into some sort of shape and freeze it again. Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't it a homemade chocolate? I mean, I think by Japanese law, if you import something
Mm,
from, other countries, right?
right.
Say America, we import something and we manufacture anything out of that thing
Mm-hmm.
in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
say Osaka, we can say it's made in Osaka.
Oh. Okay. So technically, so I guess with your
Yeah.
logic, I guess we can call it homemade chocolate.
Yeah, it is definitely homemade
Yeah.
chocolate by law.
And I think it's
Japanese law.
what matters the most
Huh?
for these are they
Hmm.
actually try to make something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
effort
yeah.
matters the most.
Hmm.
So it doesn't really matter if they're like melting those like store-bought chocolate and then like put into the mold and then freeze it again.
Hmm.
It's fine, you know? It's
Yeah, I
just
mean
the
they
effort that they
put a
try to make something for someone significant, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, and also usually people really, really put the effort on making it in a
mm.
really cute shape, kawaii shape,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Exactly.
So that matters.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
so that's
also
homemade chocolate.
yeah, and I think a lot of you guys probably seen a lot of scenes with like, girls trying to make those like tizukuri choco, like homemade chocolate,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for Valentine's Day, or boys do that maybe. So there are many like manga, like scenes in manga and anime Especially the ones like, oh, what's the one that we actually talked about earlier? Oh, okay. You and me
A
are
polar
polar
opposite.
opposite. Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember the girl. She was actually trying to make chocolate. Yeah, for Tanikun, right? So.
And those characters usually fail to, put together kawaii chocolate
Yep.
for the first time at first. But they make an effort to make it right.
Yep.
And that's what matters in Valentine's Day.
Yep. Doing something special for
Yeah, and
significant
also
other.
by law, it is homemade chocolate.
Okay, done.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of people don't really understand the differences between like giri choco and homemade choco and tomo choco. There's so many
okay.
kind of chocolates.
Yeah. Right. And it's confusing to Japanese people too.
That's very true.
Because I've got it's my experience, but I've got giri choco, so-called giri choco, but it was actually it turned out to be a homemade choco.
Oh.
So
Okay.
when I was in middle school or
Okay.
something like that, right? So first of all we have to set the definition of giri choco and homemade choco and tomo choco, right?
Yep.
So giri choco is basically just giving chocolate to, I don't know, friends or like
someone you feel like you're obligated to give. Kind of like chocolate.
Obligation chocolate. Yeah,
Kind of.
that's a thing.
Like you give it to your
yeah.
boss or
classmates,
coworkers,
maybe
classmates.
co-workers.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an obligation chocolate is giri choco.
So it doesn't really involve any sort of special feeling. And homemade choco is the opposite one with the special feeling.
Yeah. And tomo choco is just friends.
Yeah. Chocolate for friends.
Yeah. And some people say it is giri choco when they give chocolate to some others. So they make clear that they, like we, or like the people like me don't think, oh, it is homemade choco.
So
right?
they make it very clear. Oh,
Yeah,
this is
they
tomo
make it
choco. This
very
is
clear.
giri choco.
Yeah. There shouldn't be misunderstanding in Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So
they
some people make
say
clear about that. But some people lie about giri choco and homemade choco, and I've experienced that. I have experience about that. So
I see.
it is difficult to us.
But there are a lot of scenes in manga that when someone is trying to give the homemade choco to someone they like, then you usually kind of depict it in a way that they're very, very nervous, right? To actually, so like giving the chocolate to someone it's gonna mean that they want to ask them out, kind of. It has, it kind of insinuates that. So I guess I can understand why they get nervous. But because like in Japan, it's so like to actually start dating with someone, you kind of have to make it really clear. And you have to tell them how you feel and then you want to go out with that person, right? So it's kind of like one of the things that you have to go through to start dating with someone. To actually say it out loud or give that chocolate, that homemade chocolate to someone. So I can see that. But I guess it's a little hard to understand for Western readers or, because in many cases, I know that the relationship doesn't really start with that kind of statement.
Yeah. I've seen those type of relationships in TV shows and movies, and I can see the confusion on Japanese confession culture.
Yeah, so the confession culture is very important somehow in Japanese culture to start dating with someone. So that's why a lot of characters in manga and anime get really nervous because they might get rejected or that person might say yes, So that's why they get really nervous about giving chocolates or, kind of to confess that they really like that person. So anyway, so a lot of people do melt the store-bought chocolate and, put into the mold and freeze it. That happens a lot. Yes.
Yes. Yep. And giri choco is, something like that.
Yeah.
Obligation chocolate.
I hope that answer was good enough to
Yeah.
answer this question. But yeah.
We like to talk more about chocolate. Yeah, let's move on to the next question.
Sure. Okay, do you have any other one?
This one is okay. So next one is eating while walking actually rude? I keep getting conflicting answers.
So I
Okay.
guess a lot of people could say different things for this question because it really depends.
Yeah, I
Depends.
think it's a Japanese expression, but it depends on TPO.
Yeah, TPO. Time,
Right.
place, occasion, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just like whether it's appropriate or not for that time, for that place, for that occasion. So it really depends. And I think just in general, it's okay to
Okay.
eat while walking. That's fine. It's like, for example, like summer festival. There are so many
Oh
food
yeah,
stands
yeah.
and
Yeah,
food
yeah.
trucks. So people buy food from there and eat while they walk around the festival. Of course that happens. So
Yeah,
for
that's
this
the
kind of
place.
occasion, it's of course okay.
Of course, yeah.
And I would say in terms of just walking on the street, regular street and eating, I think if it's not crowded too much, then it should be okay. Like in terms of, and only if you don't throw garbages, like trash
yeah,
on the
that's-
street.
I
If
think
you
that's like the
do
most
that,
important thing.
that's like
right?
no, that's like a big no. But
Yeah.
if you're keeping it clean to yourself, then if you're not disturbing anyone else, then it should be fine. But I would say on the train, no.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
So-
do some people eating, so
Right, or drinking
Yeah.
alcohol even.
well, yeah. I mean, drinking like something like water, tea, coffee.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's okay. It's really
That's
okay.
totally fine. That's totally fine. But
Just-
drinking alcohol,
yeah.
nah, not so much.
Nah, but people do it.
Yeah.
And when I see a person eating on a train, I just assume like, oh, maybe that person is so hungry that couldn't just wait until they get off. Or maybe that person was so busy and had no time to eat. That's my assumption. So it's usually people don't really eat on a train.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say. Yeah.
I don't think we do that because it is usually crowded, especially in Tokyo or like especially in like not maybe in countryside with not crowded train. Maybe it is kind of acceptable, but not in Tokyo.
Right. So
So-
that also goes for the streets, like outside. So
True, true.
if you're not making any mess and if you're like just buying something from a store and just eating that while walking, I think it's fine. Just don't throw trash on the street. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, and I think because I have a really strict mom,
Okay.
my opinion on this question is the rule of thumb is don't do that. But there are so many exceptions
Yeah.
to this rule.
That's very
so
true, yes.
basically, you shouldn't be eating while walking. But as you said, if you go to like festival or like I don't know,
Like there are certain
in-
streets that have
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of food
yeah.
stands, food trucks.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
in Kamakura or like in Asakusa. Yeah.
so those places basically you go there to do that thing. You do go there to eat while walking. So you can do that. It is totally acceptable.
Yes.
But basically, in stations, trains, especially trains or buses, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's like probably 95% no on those places, but for the place that everyone is doing, then it's fine. And also, Kansai was probably the one of the exception, although it's like a bullet train.
I mean, you have a seat, a reserved seat,
Yeah.
and you have like a tiny table right in front of you, so it is okay to.
Yeah.
Eat. I mean, it's not eat while walking, so
Right. Kind of, yes.
you're sitting, so
Yeah, on the train. And a lot of people eat gogoichi on a bullet train
yeah.
too.
Yes. They buy it in Kyoto station or Osaka station. So
Yep. I love
I
gogoichi.
do that all the time.
So for those who had never heard of gogoichi, that's a store that sells pork buns.
Pork buns, yeah.
Yeah. And
Butaman.
it's
Butaman.
very, very famous and it's really good. And it's originated in Osaka, right?
I think it's
the
yeah,
original
originated in
store
Osaka,
is in
and
so
yeah, they only have stores in Osaka and Kyoto area, I think, or like Kansai area.
yeah.
And when you get on bullet train, basically you can buy Gogoichi in Shin Osaka Station or Kyoto Station.
Right. So a lot of people buy it and then eat it on
Yeah.
the train. I mean, on the Shinkansen train. So bullet train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Kanto people don't like the smell of it.
When you're not eating, maybe because it does have a very
Yeah.
strong scent. But
Right? It has a really distinctive smell, scent, and some people don't like it, but it is basically allowed or like accepted
Yeah.
because it is. You can buy it at the stations, so you can buy
Yeah,
them and
of course, and
get
eat
on
them.
get on Shinkansen. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we wanted to answer more questions, but it's almost time to wrap it up. So
Aw.
yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions about Japan, please leave them in the comments. Maybe we can do this kind of episode once again if we get a lot of questions. We'd love to do that. The show is also supported by the manga app Maki. So yeah, and we'd love to see your questions, what you think of it. If you have any questions about Japan, Japanese culture, or manga, anime, or one scene in a manga that you don't really understand, then we'd love to see them. So please leave them in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And rate us. Rate us.
Yeah, and follow the show, please. All right, thank you so much, guys. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.